top of that when you
Right.
try to do it that way.
Exactly.
So that
Because
is
it's
when,
will.
yes, because I don't know if you remember that video that we watched with the guy in the red suit when he was talking about people who get motivated by a breakup to go to the gym, and then they do all of these things to lose the weight, and then they gain the weight back. That's because they never changed their self-image. They never changed the inner dialogue that got them there in the first place. But if they would have focused on being a health conscious person, they would have gotten the results, and the results would have been lasting. Boom. There we go. Same thing with the wealth consciousness. Crystal.
So this makes me think of a lady that I took care of once. She was like 103 years old. The cutest, happiest, sweetest little thing I've ever seen in my life. She didn't wear glasses. She didn't wear hearing aids. She had all of her own teeth. She had no comorbidities. And I remember the doctor saying, "Do you know what sets her apart? Why she's lived this long?" And I'm like, "I don't know. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't drink. I don't know." And he's like, "No, she's happy. No matter what you asked her, she had the biggest smile on her face. She could be in the hospital and it was for something very superficial. It wasn't like a big like sickness. Um, and you're like, "Oh, what happened?" She's like, "I don't know." And she just was so happy. And it just like set in my mind when I talked to the doc that day. I was like, wow, like our attitude really does change our body and our chemistry and the way that we thrive in the world.
Yes.
I don't know. It was really cool.
That's so cute. I used to work at a I don't want to say you know, with the older people as well. I used to love working there, man. Those older people love me. I used to take care of them, man. I loved working there. But you want to know what's interesting is people think you're crazy if you're positive all the time. People think you're crazy. And it's not crazy, but I do want to go back to the lack part, right? Because similar to y'all, so I didn't grow up poor, y'all. I'm gonna make that clear. I don't know if anybody in here grew up poor. I know some of y'all grew up poor, right? Which there was food in the house. It may not have been the food that I wanted, but there was food in the house. There was a roof over my head. We stayed in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1-floor house. Now, I didn't have everything that I wanted. Are y'all frozen or is it just Crystal? Okay. So when I still dealt with lack, similar to other people on here. And what's interesting about lack, when you're brought up in lack, is a lot of the things that make sense to you or where you think you're being wise, it's lack. It's lack. So breaking through those things can be a little bit difficult. That's why it's important for us to educate ourselves with other with all the tools and resources that there are on YouTube, people that have written books, stuff like A Happy Pocket Full of Money, so that we can understand that and have coaches. Coaches are extremely important. Like people have this thing when it comes down to paying the coaches. Obviously y'all don't, but it's very important to have people in your life that can guide you and let you know like, yo, no, that's not that's not wisdom, that's lack, or you're just to help guide you in the right direction. There were quite a few things that I would do where I thought it was I didn't even realize it was lack. So just becoming consciously aware of that, but going inside more importantly than anything. So not paying your bills and using that money for something else, that's lack. That's lack, y'all. That's fear that you don't know where the money's going to come from. That's lack. Spending money with the energy of not knowing when it's going to come back. I used to do that. I used to be like, well, let me go ahead and get the rest of these groceries because I don't know. I don't want to, I'm not going to say it in that, but I didn't know if the money or when the money was going to come back. Right. Cause I'd be like, yo, let me just get what I need with the rest of and that energy in itself would cause no more to come in. No more to come in. So also not filling up the gas tank. You got to use the car anyways, y'all. Fill the gas tank up. Fill the gas. You're gonna use the car anyways. Fill the gas tank up. But when you put that energy out, as in, let me just put a little bit of gas in. That I had gotten from my grandmother. My grandmother used to be like, put $5 in and don't go past $5. And it would be a game where she would be like, you real good at hitting it on 5. Yeah, buddy, I got experience in this one. Boom, on 5. I used to be pissed when I'd be 501, man. Skilled at it. So you got to use the car anyways, y'all. You got to use the car. Fill it up. Fill it up. Now, this doesn't mean be reckless with money, right? This doesn't mean go out and get, because that's something that I dealt with too. I would be like, well, if I'm abundant, that means if I'm wealthy, that means I can spend money on whatever. It doesn't mean that we're reckless now, y'all. Because I don't know who else went through that. I don't know. Was it just me? I can't even see everybody. Hold on. Let me see. Did anybody go through the phase where they were spending money because they just like, I want to, yeah. I see Kayla, I see Lisa. Okay, Christy, yeah. Mercedes.
Can I say something about money? It's really funny.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, maybe I need this because I never think about money and how much money to. I just want to be happy. I don't know if that makes any sense,
So
but
I see
I
what you're.
am happy. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I I see what, so are you saying like money's not important to you?
I mean, it is because I need what I want to do. I need money, but then when I start listening to you about money, and I was thinking to myself, like, God, I never think about money at all. I'll get money and buy everything else and then do the bills later. But then I would always notice money would show up unexpectedly. I would never focus on it, but now I'm trying to think more like thinking about the money because I was never educated about money, never really thought about money. I don't know. It doesn't even like I don't even know where my mind was about that part.
So it's more about, when I talk about that, it's more about the intention of it. So if you're intentionally not paying the bills because you rather do something else with the money because you feel there's not enough, that's completely different than a different kind of mindset. I don't know exactly what yours is because we'd have to go more in depth. And Samantha, I see you raising your hand. But I think money is a very important topic.
Yeah, I think it is for me too. That's something I really need to think about because
Need
I
or
never
something.
I never had where like how everybody's saying oh how much they're making, how much you want to make. I can't even think about an amount. Like it just I don't know. It's just a really good question for myself. Like why don't I think about it? Because everything I want is gonna take money to. I need it for
So
like I want to travel. Does that make yeah?
so with what you're saying, I actually, when it comes to an amount, my coach is really like, he's big on writing a dollar amount down. That for me just doesn't really work. I don't necessarily, different strokes for different folks. I'm more service driven. Like if I write down service goals, like I want to serve this many people, that works best for me because when I say, I don't know. But for me, there's a supply for every demand. So if I decide that I want to go to Houston, Texas, rent out a piece of a hotel, one of those sections, and do a mastermind in there, there's a supply for every demand. So however much that's going to cost, the universe is going to give that to me. That's how I look at that. So just like with me, I don't know. Yeah, I believe in supply and every demand, and whatever I need is going to be supplied to me. But if I think that it's not possible for me, then it's not going to happen, which to me is like a form of lack. Does that make sense? Is what I'm saying making sense?
Yeah,
So,
it makes sense.
so whatever I need it for, it's going to show up every time. The only problem is not knowing what you want. Oprah said the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is successful people know what they want. A lot of people don't know exactly what they want. and they send mixed signals to the universe. And like I always say, you're driving to a steakhouse, and then you're driving to pho, and then you're driving to McDonald's. Don't eat McDonald's, y'all. And then you're driving to whatever, right? But you're never getting any food.
Right.
You're never getting any food. So what do you want? That's the biggest thing. And then focus on that. Crystal.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Like when you mentioned like not spending recklessly, like to me, I keep thinking of like there needs to be balance. Like you're not so hyper focused on your money that you know exactly how much you have in your bank account, and now you're spending from a place of lack and just splurging on whatever because you fear that you won't have enough for everything. It's not worrying about where the money's going to come from, but knowing that it's there and having that comfortability to pay your bills and be able to enjoy yourself, kind of thing. Because I used to be in a space where I was micromanaging my money right down to the dollar, because I was like, do I have enough to stop at the gas station and get this? Like, and then I went to the other extreme of, well, okay, I get paid in 2 weeks, so I can go shopping now and then pay my bills before they're due with my next paycheck. And now I'm just kind of like in that space where I'm like, I know I have enough in my bank account. I'm not really worried about it. Like my bills are paid, that kind of thing. So to me, it's like it's just that balance and knowing that it's gonna take care of itself if you put yourself in alignment with that truth.
100%. And I'm pretty sure Christy could talk on a few of these things really good, because y'all know she's the money queen as well. But another thing that I've noticed is, y'all know when we're out of alignment, there's a such thing as emotional spending. You can be spending money just to make yourself feel better. Just like you can drink, you can be scrolling on social media. So that awareness of what am I doing this to make me feel better type deal. Because then you start collecting stuff that you don't even need. So, Emily.
Yeah, I have a question, and maybe even for Christy, is like, okay, kind of what Crystal was saying. What is the difference between budgeting and being, practical with your budget versus spending because you know that you are abundant and you have wealth?
That's actually a really good question. So with budgeting, budgeting is really tailored to those essential needs, that those bills, which I call little luxuries that don't necessarily change. And then there's planning. So there's budgeting, there's planning for the future as well, or things that you want to do, and have a system where funds are flowing into that planning account that you might have, right? So budgeting are the things that you know are there that aren't ever going to change. Those little luxuries that aren't going to change that you plan for, right? You come up with a system, you live through this system that doesn't really change. So you eventually figure out exactly what it is that you need, exactly what it is that you have to fund, your little luxuries that are there. Then again, planning are things that you want to be able to do in the future, but again, you don't pay too much attention to. It's just funds that you filter into accounts that are going to get you there, right? It doesn't require too much attention, too much needs. Again, for instance, what I do is a percentage of any income that I'm getting goes into those planning accounts that I have, whether it's for travel or anything. And then with the spending, will come spending from a place that's not with the mindset of not being abundant. It's just there's no intention behind it. If there's no intention behind the spending that you're doing, that's a problem. Yes.
Okay. So like, when this is a really small example, but like I'm not a big shopper, but like one time I was out at this cute little boutique that is near my apartment that I found. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was here. Found a super cute pair of jeans that were like, they were, you know, in the 3-digit, like, you know, above $100. And I love them. They're like, oh, they make my butt look good. Ooh, these are so cute. But like, I don't really need them. But they look good, and I would definitely like be wearing those things. But it's like that logic of like, I don't, like, and I also get conflicted with minimalism because I'm a big minimalism person too, and not having too much stuff. So that's another kind of conflict or part of my like thought process. But yeah, like, do I just go buy the jeans because like I know I'm abundant and I deserve those, or do I be like logical and practical about it?
Well, here's the thing. It's how do you feel if you have that immediate thought in the moment, like, I don't need them, or do I need them? You probably do not need them. Okay. Especially if you are a minimalist and don't have, if you have jeans, if you don't need them, you don't need them. Now, if you are down to your last pair of jeans and they're falling apart and you need to replace them, then sure. But that's not to say that you can't splurge on yourself from time to time. Like, no one wants to live their life like that. And that doesn't come from a place of abundance. Like, you can treat yourself. If it is coming from a place where it's intentional and like you're like, okay, I really do like these don't look like any jeans that I have and I want them, you can treat yourself. Now, don't go down a rabbit hole of saying, oh, let me get these jeans and let me get these other jeans and let me get this shirt to go with the jeans and these shoes to complete the look. And I've been there. Okay, I've definitely been there, but you can treat yourself. You just have to do it with, when you do it with a light heart. If you have any doubt, immediately it's a no. If there's a part of you that's like, I don't know, or then you probably don't need it. Even when what do they call it? Retail therapy. Even when we're retail therapy and we have that moment where it's like, I don't know if I should do this. And 9 times out of 10, we end up doing it anyway. But that part right there is coming from a place of like, there's no intention behind this, but you can still treat yourself from time to time, especially if you're telling yourself you deserve it and you don't have to you're not immediately worrying about all of your other funds or everything else or where you're investing your money or where you could be investing your money.
That's helpful. Yeah, the treating of yourself part. Yeah.
Hey,
All of that is helpful. Thank you. Thank you.
Emily, I just want to say something, right? I'm a minimalist as well. And that's funny. It's crazy because she talks about intention. I think that's very important because as y'all were talking, right? I I bought a pair of pants. They were like, I think they're called G-Star Raw, right? I bought them last year. They were like over $100. That's the first time I paid over $100 for something. And when I put those on, I'm like, I could make some more money with these on, like this. So buying it with like the intention of these are gonna make me even more money, right? I think is also pretty cool as well. Like if I have on something that feels good, feels nice, because at the end of the day, those are the highest quality pants I've had. They feel the best. Those are the best pants I have. And when I have them on, I feel like $1 million. So they're gonna make me the mill to me. But also I think another thing with it being intentional is I'm the type of person, I don't buy a lot of stuff, minimalist, right? But I'll say I'm going to the store today to get some Crocs. I don't like to just go somewhere and just be wandering around and then be like, I'm gonna just buy this. I'll be like, I want to go get a new shirt today. Like that, I'm going and being intentional. I'm not just wandering around and then being like, hey, this would be nice. And then, hey, this would be nice. So hopefully that helps too. Samantha.
This ties into what I'm going to be talking about on Monday a little bit as well, because that's the two things I wanted to share. Basically, it was like, it's the intention of how you're going about finding the thing. Like if you just go out because you're like kind of moseying around and wanting to, spend money, that's very different than being like, I have a need for something specific in my life, so therefore I'm going to go seek it out. Because then when you do that, that's when it appears perfectly, exactly the way you want. That's like the synchronicity or the coincidence of like when you've been wanting something specific for a while and you go to the store and you see it and you just happen to find the perfect thing. That's like living in intention because you're aware of what it is that you would want and desire. Therefore, it shows up for you, right? So it's the being able to make sure that you're really aware of what it is that you want. And then the other thing is like what Bree said about the pants, like when she puts them on, she feels like $1,000,000. That's abundance, right? So like you are building you are adding to your own abundance. So if you think about it as like a logical part, maybe you have too many other things. Like if you have like 17 pairs of pants and these one pair of pants you could wear every week and every single time, you're going to have an amazing day and it's going to build to your character and you're going to just feel like empowered every time you wear them. Get rid of 10 of the other pairs of pants because 10 of them don't equal the one, right? So it's a matter of like every single thing that you have, if you enjoy it, if it brings joy to you and you don't have just a bunch of stuff just laying around, your abundance increases, your wealth increases. Like if you write on a piece of paper that's like so perfect and so smooth and you enjoy it, you're going to do it more and it will pour back into you more.
I love y'all. I love y'all. Man, I'm going to tell y'all. I saw myself wearing my Crocs long before I got my Crocs. And my Crocs are so perfect, y'all. They're so cute. I got the little thingies on them, and I got some books. What else I got on there? I got a bee. It's perfect. I love them, but I saw myself, and I think it was probably, just law of attraction, law of vibration, right? I thought about it long enough, saw myself in the Crocs, and now the Crocs are perfect. Instead of me going out, and then you know how you go and you get something, you be like, it's at the house, and you're like, I ain't even need this. I didn't even need this. Why do I have this right now? And I love how you said what you said, Samantha, about the what you say, the 10 pants. Get rid of the 10 pants. Y'all, I have like 3 pairs of pants. And y'all see I be cycling the hell out of these black shirts, man. I love my black shirts. I love my 3-4 pair of pants, right? Quality over quantity type deal. And how do you feel when they're on? Absolutely. Crystal.
So when you were saying like when you're going shopping, you have like your intention set on like what you're getting when you go. And it made me think of this video I saw not long ago. It made me laugh. This girl was talking about going to Costco. And she's like, I swear, if there's somebody that's been missing for 3 to 5 years, they're in Costco somewhere. Because when you go in there, there's no signs to tell you where things are. And she said, and I stopped an employee because I was looking for something specific. And I said, I noticed you don't have any signs above your aisles to say where things are. And he said, it's designed that way intentionally to keep people walking around. And that's how you end up in there for so long and spending extra money that you don't need to spend because you can't find what you're looking for. And then you end up seeing other things and you're like, oh, impulse buy. And so having like intention when you're going places before you walk in the door, it's super important because you have to also consider the intentions of the universe around you and things like Costco, whose intentions are to have you wandering around there for hours and eating all their samples while you go shopping.
That's funny, girl. I'll never go to Costco again. I don't even know if I ever been to Costco, but the fact that y'all do that is wild. The fact that y'all do that is wild. That's crazy. Sheena.
I was just saying about when she said like being an impulse buyer because I turned over and I'm looking at all my purses hanging up over here, and my daughter was like, "Mom, you have like 20 purses and you only really just wear one, and you don't never use the rest of them, and about 4 of them still have the tag on." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's so cute, you know. Like there was a reason I bought it, and now I'm just looking like, do I really need this purse? Because I don't really." it can't even fit anything in there. Like when I go out, I'm bringing my journal just in case if I have something on the top of my head I want to write down, and I'm looking at it like this don't make no sense. I'm looking at all these shoes, and I only wear like two pairs of shoes out of all of them. Like I don't even wear all of them, and I was just sitting there thinking like, wow, I am like an impulse buyer, and I didn't even notice it. But I'm getting more mindful in what I do. Like when you said with the gas, we drive the car, so now I notice like, okay, it could be like my last $40, $50. I'm spending it in gas. And my kids are like, oh, well, what are you going to do if you need something? I said, well, if I need something, it's going to come to me. But with my car, I know I drive it every single day. Like, as soon as it gets to a quarter tank, I'm filling it back up. So that way I'm not spending extra money filling it all the way up. You know what I mean? Like, I do things intentional. Like, I stop at Stop and Shop to get the gas points. And I know, okay, boom, I can go to Stop and Shop and the gas is cheaper that way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if that makes sense. And
Well, that's interesting because I don't even pay. Well, I didn't pay attention to gas prices. Never did. I was like, this thing is gonna. I think that can kind of be a lack thing as well. I don't pay
I
attention.
noticed that when you were saying that, yeah.
Even
I
with
will
the
sit
eggs.
there, the eggs. Oh, these prices are ridiculous.
See, no. You gotta get like the eggs. Everybody was talking about the eggs being. I didn't even know how much the eggs were because I was gonna eat them anyways. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get them. Like, yeah. So I know people that will be like, it's 10 cents cheaper at this gas station. Let's drive 30 miles away to go get this gas. That's yeah. Oh,
That's crazy. You just said that.
what?
Like from where I live at, there's a gas station. Cumberland Farm is literally 2 seconds away, but I'll drive 10 minutes to go up the street and go to the other gas station because it's cheaper.
Wow.
And I never noticed that. And if somebody was like, "Why do you do that?" I was like, "Because it's cheaper." And then if I need to go shopping, the grocery store is right across the street. It was like, yeah, but it's the same way the other direction of your house too, because you have two Stop and Shops. And I'm like, wow, I never noticed that. So I'm spending like the same amount of gas that I'm going to go put in my car, driving further. Yeah,
See, that's you remember earlier when I said lack of make it make sense. When we come from lack, there are things that's just like that's wisdom. Why would I not go to the gas station that's cheap? Like, you know what I'm saying? But no, that's lack talking. That's not abundance.
yeah, I didn't even think about that because I do the same thing when I notice the prices of the eggs. I'm like, hold up, I got 6 kids. I'm not about to spend almost $10 on some eggs over here.
But see,
I will drive over here and get it for $3.
no, we restrict our flow that way. We restrict that. Emily, did you have something for Sheena or did you have something else? Okay, so I'll go to Samantha and then Miriam because it looked like Samantha was for Sheena and then.
Yes, Samantha is for Sheena. So like I think about that because my sister used to like use the app for like the gas prices, and she's like, oh, if we drive 10 minutes over here, we're gonna save 3 cents per gallon. I was like, how many gallons of gas do you put in your car? Oh, 10. So you're going to save 30 cents and drive 10 miles. Your time is worth more than 30 cents. The energy that you had to put into looking it up was worth more than 30 cents. Bring up your own personal value, right? And if you're going to go somewhere where things are more cost effective for you, say it that way. Things are more cost effective for you at this store, like Aldi, for example. It's not because you're going there because things are cheaper, they're more cost effective for where you are currently in your environment. That's all.
Miriam, did you
Thank
have
you. I
something
like
for
that.
Sheena?
I'm going to all these today.
Did you have something? You did? Okay.
Yes, because when you were talking about like, especially like saying you have 6 kids, I only have 3, but it was crazy because I would, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a dozen of eggs for $20. I don't know, probably I don't know how much they are, but when I started switching like my mindset on really believing and truly, because Coach, you've been mentioning it so much in the last couple of calls that I'm like, why don't I think that I'm abundant? Like I'm the one doing this to myself. So I said, I'm going to start shopping at Whole Foods because either way, I would have spent my money somewhere else. It's not that I'm not abundant, is that I was, again, letting fear control me. So I started shopping at Whole Foods and I started saying, I'm going to get food that is not only, dándome nutrientes. Somebody translate this for me because I lost it for a second. But
Healthier.
giving me, giving
Like
giving me
more nutrition.
like it's not just to keep me. Ay, Dios mío. Y'all, it's morning, okay? I didn't finish my coffee. It's not just satisfying my hunger, but it's
Oh, whoa. Okay.
that's why I'm like,
The-
I'm trying to translate it, but I was like, I'm trying to.
So the let's get away from the coffee paradigm that after you like you can't like your brain can't function unless you have your coffee because that sounds like a paradigm.
Okay.
It
Oh,
sounds like
okay.
get rid of that. Get rid of that
Oh,
altogether.
okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, you're right. But Dios mío. Okay, this is gonna have to come back to me because I just want to say it in Spanish. It's rolling to me in Spanish, but I cannot get it out in English. But it's like, you're hungry and you feed yourself. It's called something. Yeah, I've been talking to my mom a lot.
Appetite?
Okay. Appetite.
Fulfilling?
Thank you.
Okay, I was
Yes.
appetizing, fulfillment, nourishment.
Yes, thank you. Okay, yes, appetite. It satisfies your appetite, but like really what nutrients does it have? Like what all is in it? But I'm so worried about I'm not gonna have enough money to buy groceries that I was just I said I was, coach. I
No,
was so
no, you didn't.
oh I
You
did
said
it?
it in
Oh, okay.
present tense.
Oh my bad. I was so worried. Yeah, I was so worried that I wasn't gonna have like enough money to buy enough groceries that I was limiting myself. And this past month and a half, I've been shopping at nothing but Whole Foods, like nothing but Whole Foods. And then I remember there was a day that, okay, I did, Christy, when you said this, I was like, okay, now I really have to think about my shopping. But I shopped out of my budget for like clothing and stuff. And I was like, I don't have enough. I'm just going to go to Kroger and grab these eggs. And I was like, no, because then that would mean that I have a belief that money is not coming back to me. And I stopped myself and I went to Whole Foods and I got my pack of eggs that I was like, I know that they're at a different price range, but I'm like, I've been proud of myself. I've been getting myself out of that mindset of lack. Like it is coming to me, it is mine. And I have to start acting like my self-image. Like I know she is abundant, I know she wouldn't shop at places that aren't good for her, so yeah, Sheena, I was with you there. I was, we just have to continue to just push past those limiting beliefs because it is not true. It is not true. And I've been doing just fine. So yeah.
And with that being said, if you typically are number one, nobody on here is a Walmart person. Nobody on here is Walmart, okay? We are not Walmart people. We are quality people in here, y'all. Now, I'm not trying to put anything bad on Walmart, but listen. If at Walmart you get the brown eggs, now that you're at Publix or Whole Foods, that doesn't mean go and get the white eggs at because then that's you taking the lack with you. Get the brown eggs still. Still get the brown eggs. Okay? Yeah. Emily.
I wanted to share a quick tip about that the minimalists say a lot, and then I'm going to share a quick story too. They suggest if you see something that you're not planning on purchasing, like a hat, and if it's above $30, don't buy it and wait 24 hours and see how you feel then. So if anything's above $30, they suggest wait 24 hours. And then a lot of times you won't even be thinking about it the next day. So I've been implementing that. And then I have a quick story about it's around like abundance mindset and minimalism and intentionality. So I did what Samantha wrote here, go through your closet and sell stuff. So I did like a couple weekends ago, clear out a bunch of crap, junk, I call it, that you don't really need. And I'm like, I'm gonna sell this on Craigslist, and I'm gonna go to Buffalo Exchange. You guys know what Buffalo Exchange? It's like you can sell your clothing, and it's like a thrift store type thing. So I was going, and through this process of purging out my stuff, I had this cute little straw purse, and it is bent out of shape. It's like it's like dirty on the handle of this little purse, and there's like holes on the inside. It's like my little summer bag, and I'm like, I don't need to buy a new summer bag. And also like didn't really care like that much. But I'm like, seeing this purse, it needs an update, but I'm like, I'm not gonna go online or anywhere and purchase it now, but eventually that is something that I would like for the summertime, my little straw summer bag. So I had it in my mind, I had the intention, but I didn't like force it. And then I went to Buffalo Exchange with a little, bag of items. And in the process of the Buffalo Exchange to sell my items, sometimes they don't buy the stuff, sometimes they just don't need it. But I was like, I'm gonna make at least $25 at Buffalo Exchange. I'm not gonna make any less. I'm gonna make $25. That's it. And then I just let it go and I dropped it. Went into Buffalo Exchange and they like went through all the stuff. And they're like, okay, your total of the value of the stuff that we're gonna sell for you is $27. And I was like, yep, because I said it and I believed in it. And I also wasn't attached to it either. And then during that, I looked to the side and there's a new cute little straw bag, like straw bag that I love and like that I've been using ever since. And it was like, so I got that little straw bag with the money. So it's like this whole, the mindset, intentionality, and minimalism all wrapped in one, like with that story. And I just felt like sharing it. Like, you guys, we're really powerful. We're really powerful and we can have what we desire.
Emily, number one, I love everything that you just said, but I think you bring up so many great points, right? There is a point where there can be this thing, right, when you're learning your trust with the universe and when it comes to manifesting and all of these different things, going and getting it is like a form of control. Like if you're like, this is what, like, I want this, and you put it out into the universe, and instead of the universe supplying it to you in a way, right, and it being aligned, you going out and risking things in order to go get it. I've done that before, right? There's a difference between putting an intention out into the universe, and I love what Emily said, and being detached from it, right? And then trying to control it and being like, well, I'm gonna go get this and it'll be supplied. Trust in the universe that it will be brought to you at the perfect time, at the perfect moment, and you will know. And you won't have, there will be no worry, no fear, no anything. And another thing with that, I can't remember what I read, what I watched. Y'all know this personal growth journey. We read and listen to so many different things. It was talking about not messing with other people's trust in the universe either, because then we can be that person that as soon as they say, well, dang, I'd love to have this, right? And then we go and we get it for them. You don't have to always go and get your partner stuff, your kids stuff. Tell them to put it out into the universe and learn how to attract it themselves, because then they start learning not how to trust the universe. And it's not that I'm trying to be an a-hole, right? I'm not trying to not get you the stuff that you love, but use the universe to your advantage. Because there have been many times where I've put that in that intention out in the universe that I wanted something, I let it go, and then magically it's there. Either someone had got it for me that I never told anything about, I never told them about it, or it just came in some magical way, or it appeared at the right moment. So